Hey guys and gals, I got another one for you today. The news this week is the TankerBrawl tournament. You can win chest premium tanks. It sounds pretty cool. There's crossplay, so there's going to be PS4, both and Xbox combined together, fighting on the same team. Just another step in some cool community stuff that you can get involved in. Unfortunately for me, I don't have 6 friends that really play this anymore, so I can't get a 7v7. I'd love to join someone's team if they'd have me, but I'm not 100% on these dates yet, so feel free to let me know if you want me on your team, and I'll see what I can do to get on there. I'm going to link in the actual URL of where you're going to click on and register your team if you're interested in it as well. And then the last clip just showed you the things you can win, the rewards, and then it's Wargaming's 22nd anniversary. I looked at all these; they're actually pretty decent. I don't ever encourage people to buy tanks at 100 at their full price, but when you can get them for 70% savings, they are worth it. And this Flex Masters package has the Dragon Lance and Sea, and that's a tank that they don't sell very often, especially on discount. I could be wrong on that, not 100% sure. And then the deals of the week are the Canonian Jagdpanzer 105 and the 1357, which 1357 is a blast. Now, we're on Malinovka. In my FE215B, a tank that doesn't often get played, and honestly, A0, you win that hill, you can easily win this map. I always talk about the main choke. Spotting, I love this mid-ridge, especially in the south. You can spot anyone from B5 to A9, and you can really give your team an advantageous information if you are to spot that. Other spotting locations from the south are like the bushes in F7, H6, and then there's a nice bush in E9. And then if you're really aggressive, you can do D6. There's a little cutout on the hill, and you can keep the whole enemy team lit. Now, it can be won from the one line, making sure that you finish your push. Don't just push out to K2. Well, this one's frozen, so you can get into K2. But K3 would normally be where a lot of players sit. Make your push up the one line. Be careful of the guys in C5, and ultimately it all comes back to who is winning the hill. Now, you don't want to just aggressively push the one line in case the enemy team didn't send anyone up to A0, or maybe they sent 4 tanks. So if you push up the one line super fast without knowing what is going on in the rest of the map, you're going to get decimated because their team's going to have spotters waiting for you to cross the field, and then they're all going to be lined up on the ridge waiting to get free bullets into your tank. So my rundown on Malinovka. Now, the winter variant is a little bit different. It's not so important to win the hill just because there's no water that really holds your team back. So what I mean by that is, like, if you're a scout or a good spotting medium tank, you can get through the middle of the map fairly easily, whereas if you're not on the winter variant and you're on the normal variant, you are restricted to run through the middle because there's a lake there, or like I said before, in K2 there's a river there, so you will drown if you attempt that. Now, I'm in my FE215B. When I first got this tank, I thought it was a pile of garbage. I love to fight these tanks because if you can penetrate the front of them, generally you're going to light them on fire. So you have to make sure you have a fire extinguisher on this tank. You probably should have fire prevention perks, or get a shot into the lower plate of that FE215B. He returns the favor and gets a shot into me. I didn't even check to see where he penned me, but we get a pen into his lower plate. We back up, and he doesn't actually pen me this time. I'm thinking that he could see my lower plate the first time, but I'm not 100% sure. Now, as a rear-mounted tank, you'd think that side scraping would be great in this tank. Unfortunately, it has some weak points on the hull that can be taken advantage of, a lot like the Panzer VII. However, if you wiggle around, they're not an easy pen to get. It is just like a slot in the side of the hull right underneath the turret. It's actually the turret ring on the side of the hull that kind of is exposed a little bit. Alright. This thing, like if you like the Chieftain's gun, this thing has a better gun than what the Chieftain packs. If you can keep your lower plate hidden, you can land shots on the move. It just destroys stuff. It reloads so fast, you can just chew things up. So you can kind of argue that it's balanced with being lit on fire, because it's so easily, or it's able to just continually push forward and crank damage out of this gun. Now, one thing I didn't talk about is what happens if you're in the south and you only send minimal amount of tanks up the 0 line. You don't have like the advantage over on the hill. And really what I like to do then is kind of settle into E0, because if you make the push like I made, or like I shouldn't say just my team made here, and you don't have the numbers, you're going to get absolutely torched, and it's not going to be a fun game for you. You'll just want to rage and yell at your teammates for not taking the hill, when really you need to recognize when you are going to be shorthanded and then just play it defensively. So I like to sit E0 as kind of a rock that you can side scrape off of right here on my right, actually. No, that's a little too high. It's up here on my right. And then there's like a little pocket in G0. Now, what a lot of people like to do once they won the hill is to charge down the A line, and that actually can get you killed pretty fast. One of the defensive strats when I'm in the north, if I know the hill is going to be lost, is set up to spot for my team on the 1 line, because if you can spot them out in the open when they're crossing like A5, there's no cover there. You're able to just destroy tanks over there. So I noticed that they made a huge push through the middle, and they drove right across the little river there. And honestly, in winter you can do that. Just like I said before, it's a little bit different than the regular variant. So they recognize that they're going to lose the hill, so they made the push through the middle, which is probably the right thing to do. In hindsight, they probably should have done it faster, but then they didn't really expect us to turn back around and take them off of the base. And really you can see just how powerful this gun is, because this game hasn't taken very long. What are we, 6 minutes in? I'm already up to 5k damage, 700 assist. I mean, this thing cranks shells out, and there's some missed opportunities that I had on that T30. You're going to see some more missed opportunities on this Wotc. I get him tracked, and that's really what I wanted to do. I'm trying to get him perma-tracked, because this heavy tank gun can keep people perma-tracked. It shoots that fast. Unfortunately, I only track him the first time. I do get a track pen the second time, and I miss his lower plate the third time, and I miss his cupola the fourth shot. Now he's hiding behind the windmill, so I totally suspect that he is reloading his gun, and we are going to push on him. Now, the nice thing, I'm the only guy in the south, so any damage done to this guy, I am going to get the assist for it. We're able to track him there, and just to make sure that he can't get away, and unfortunately I miss another shot into his cupola, and he turns to get shots into me, and we're able to finish him up. Now I look at the map, my team is headed to kill their artillery. They take him down. We got one guy on the cap. But man, when this thing is humming, this is a fun tank. It is miserable when you're a new player and you don't understand all the mechanics of the game. I got this tank as one of my first tier 10 heavies, and no fun at all in this thing. It was a lot like the E100. If you really don't understand what's going on in the game, you are going to be on the struggle bus. But it goes from when you fight someone good in this tank, or even the E100, they make the tank seem really overpowered and strong. So when you get it for yourself, you're super excited, and then people exploit the tank's weaknesses and really put you in reality of how bad and how great any tank can be on this game. But we end with 5,700 damage, 1,700 assisted, ace tanker, top of the team. Oh, did I mention this map is great for artillery unless you're shooting anywhere other than the hill. But if your focus is on the hill right away, you help your team win the hill, you get to gobble up damage all over the map, especially on top of the hill to start the game. He gets 4,200 damage. I send him a GG because obviously between him and I, we cranked out a ton of damage for our team and won the game. Good luck in the tournament if you join that. That's really all I got for you. I'll quit rambling. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.